Is everyone going to be here today? Are we all, as far as we know? Good, good. And Jolynn has that same smile. I don't know how she can pull that off. As far as we know. Yeah, very, very consistent. It's always very pleasant. Has that same smile. I don't know how she can pull that off. As far as we know. Yeah, very, very consistent. It's always very pleasant. Has that same.
Okay, we're live, and Brad should be hooking it up to the web page, so we'll be ready to go at 4.
Okay. Looks like we've got about 3 minutes, maybe. Is most of the snow gone up there?
Pretty much.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't think we had as much as you all did, but it's about gone here. It looks like.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think we all are.
Yeah.
We still have snow.
Yeah.
Even now the blacktop is cleared, Pat said, but the gravel road is not.
Ah.
I'll share, I got my Girl Scout cookies today. So if you see me over here munching, I got my Thin Mints.
Oh, those are the best.
Oh, I never had them shipped to me, but I had a friend that said that's the way they're trying to do it. I said, send them on, and I got them just before I got on.
They just come through the mail?
Yeah, it was actually not UPS, but came, but not in the U.S. mail though.
Yeah.
Yeah, a truck delivery.
We had a little girl that some friends of ours in Springfield, and they did that, and she had an entire marketing scheme. She was kind of like Vanna White, and she was talking about the cookies and what was available and how much they cost, and she really did quite a sales job.
Cool.
Okay, it looks like it is 4 o'clock, so I'll call this meeting to order. State Fair Community College Board of Trustees, and I'd like to welcome everyone, all of the board, the staff, and those that might be joining us via Zoom. In front of you, you should have an agenda, and we will need a motion and a second to approve that agenda.
I motion we move.
Second.
Okay.
Okay. Roll call, Randy Eaton,
Yes.
Nick Lestrada,
Yes.
Justin Hubbs,
Yes.
Jim Page,
Yes.
Richard Parker,
Yes.
Patty Wood.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And Jolynn, did we have any citizens' comments?
No, none were submitted.
Okay. And then in your packet, you should have the minutes from our last meeting on December 17th. And hopefully you've had a chance to review those, and we will need a motion and a second to approve
So
those.
moved.
Okay.
Second.
Who made the motion?
Jim.
Jim.
Thank you. Roll call, Randy Eaton,
Yes.
Nick Lestrada,
Yes.
Justin Hubbs,
Yes.
Jim Page,
Yes.
Richard Parker,
Yes.
Patty Wood.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, Keith, I see your name there. Are you going to present the warrant?
I am going to present the warrant.
Okay, hello.
Hello. So for the month of December, Schaefer Community College expended $2,682,973. That's a fairly low month, as you would expect with half the month here. Of that, 1.4 million was payable, 900,000 in payroll, another approximately 200,000 in income and payroll taxes, 146,000 in financial aid and refunds, 7,000 utilities, and 4,000 in credit card processing fees. That is our 2.68 million that we expended during the month.
Okay. Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve that warrant?
Motion we move.
I'll second.
Okay,
Roll call, Randy Eaton,
yes.
Nick Lestrada,
Yes.
Justin Hubbs,
Yes.
Jim Page,
Yes.
Richard Parker,
Yes.
Patty Wood.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, Dr. Anderson, you're going to explain the Tooth Keeney waiver.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay,
As most of you are aware, Tooth Kinney is our legal representation for State Fair Community College. And we are asking that they also represent the foundation in the legal documents that are having to be constructed for borrowing money to cover the cost of the Workforce Innovation Center. In the short term, obviously the foundation is raising funds through their capital campaign for that. But because that legal firm currently represents the college, if they are to represent the foundation, they would like a waiver of a conflict of interest waiver, and that is in your packet. Basically what that does is it says if the college and the foundation ever couldn't agree on something and we came to loggerheads, they couldn't represent either one of us. So that's the long and the short of it for the conflict of interest. Obviously, I don't think that would ever occur. And so we just need their legal advice so that we can work through this complication of the NAP tax credits and get through all of that, which is kind of done and ready to go once we get everything worked out with a lending institution. So we are recommending that the board approve the conflict of interest waiver as attached, and that you also authorize me as president to execute that conflict of waiver.
okay, okay. Do I hear a motion?
So move.
Sorry. I'll second.
Okay, any questions from anyone? Joe Lynn?
That appeared to be a pretty standard
It is,
waiver of conflict between related parties.
absolutely, yes.
Yeah, but it's not unusual at all, so.
Yeah.
Jolynn?
Roll call, Randy Eaton,
Yes.
Nick Lestrada,
Yes.
Justin Hubbs,
Yes.
Jim Page,
Yes.
Richard Parker,
Yes.
Patty Wood.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And Keith, we have you next concerning the lawnmowers, and are those mowers that you're going to be able to run if you have to?
I'm not sure I have the technical training to.
I might not either.
These are real mowers.
Yeah.
We have a recommendation from Justin Fields, who's head of our maintenance group, As you recall earlier, late last year, we elected in the interest of not only in the interest of saving money, but also in the interest of getting things done when we needed to bring mowing in-house. To do that, they had some about 4 or 5 year old mowers. Those have seen their end of life. So the recommendation is went out to bid to buy 2 mowers. The lifespan of a commercial mower is about 3 to 4 years in the service we put it in. We were spending, these can help us not only do the mowing, but they'll also do our snow service in the winter, icing, all of that, because we have all the attachments for that. So we were spending about 35,000 or so for the mowing and another, depending on the snow every year, but it was easily 15 to 20,000 a year in the snow removal things. So he's requesting we buy 2 new mowers. The winning bid was Crown Power and Electric with Grasshopper zero-turn mowers of $10,400 per mower. We'll pay this 50% of our operating budget, and 50% will be paid for from our state matching maintenance and repair budget. So I'd like to ask your recommendations for purchase these and we can use for in the service of our campus.
Okay, thank you, Keith. Do I hear a motion that we purchase these?
Motion we move.
Is there a second?
Second, Patty.
Patty?
Roll call, Randy Eaton,
Yes.
Nicholas Strata,
Yes.
Justin Hubbs,
Yes.
Jim Page,
Yes.
Richard Parker,
Yes.
Patty Wood.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And then the security system, Keith, are you going to make that recommendation?
Yes, the second request comes from Andy Hoos of our computer networking department. Over the past year or so, we've invested quite a bit in servers and equipment for that area. There's a lot of money sitting in there. As part of that, he has requested we put in a security system to monitor both the data center and the classrooms. I think it's probably a very smart move. Went out to bid. The bid that came back to win was from Night Watch Systems, which is actually very good because they're who gives our whole campus security. And actually, so it integrates with software they already have and those things. The system itself will cost, as you see, $12,530.77. This does qualify to be matched 75% with the state's enhancement grant. So cost of our budget is 25% of that. I'd like to recommend that he purchase and install this system so we can monitor all of the equipment that they have in that data center in the classrooms.
Okay, this is in addition to our existing equipment, correct?
This addition, this is very specific just to the networking center, so he can monitor the actual rooms, the data center room, and the classrooms where we have his servers and some of his equipment.
Okay.
But it does utilize the same software, and we can, because that we can watch it and see it from any of our other monitors and all that we have. So it integrates with that system that's already does the entire campus.
Okay.
So our security people can tap into this and watch as well?
Yes.
Thank you.
That was one of the advantages. We were happy they had the price because that was one of the advantages of it, was that they could do that seamlessly.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Roll call, Randy Eaton,
Yes.
Nicholas Strata,
Yes.
Justin Hubbs,
Yes.
Jim Page,
Yes.
Richard Parker. Richard, you're muted. I'm sorry.
Okay, now, yes.
Okay, thanks. And Patty Wood.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Anderson?
Thank you very much. Well, I want to start off by saying thank you to our entire faculty and staff for getting our spring semester off to a really good start. I know that a number of our employees contracted COVID over the holiday break, as did I. So it was really great to be back on campus. After the holiday break, and just great to see students in the hallways, and our faculty. We're glad to be back. You know, I know you're not supposed to be touchy-feely right now, but it was fun to see students hugging each other. They were so excited to see each other on Tuesday. I wanted to let you know that we are very appreciative of the recognition that Governor Parson made of higher education yesterday in his State of the State when he shared information about his budget. And during his State of the State, he recognized two fast-track students. One of them is our own nursing student, Brianna Tyler, and she was recognized and also hosted by Governor Parson and the First Lady for a conversation with them. That was great. The governor's budget for higher education is very positive. One, it restores the core funding back to our previous level for all public colleges and universities. And it also has one-time monies in it to the tune of $21.8 million for Mo Excels. And that would be the next round of Mo Excels. And while the list of projects isn't official yet, we previously were on that list behind 2 continuing projects, and we were the 3rd one of a new project. So I'm hoping that list persists and that we would receive some of that Mo Excels one-time money. As you know, workforce development, those are all monies going toward workforce development issues, and that has been a key theme for the governor. The community colleges, and we don't know if this applies to State Fair, I've asked and we're trying to find out, but there was money approved for an expansion of the Associate of Applied Science and Behavioral Health for 5 additional community colleges. That was a part of our first round of Mo Excels, and we had hoped to get some additional monies to help fully implement that program. So we'll see. And then the last piece of his budget is to fully fund A+ and Bright Flight and continue funding the Fast Track program. And so he recommended additional funding for those financial aid programs. I would tell you that because more students chose to stay close to home and attend community colleges, there was an uptick in the cost for the A+ program that hadn't been fully realized. And through the supplemental budget and then through his budget recommendations for next year, we hope that that program continues to be fully funded. Also, this week, I was able to go to Rotary, and we had our Students of the Month were introduced. And the good news was both of those students were connected to State Fair Community College. Emma Scouten is a current CTC student, and she is going to play softball for us and come here and pursue a degree that would take her on to Rolla for mechanical engineering. And then Brianna Lefevre Scott is a participant in our Upward Bound program. So it was good to see them at Rotary. The business office has had a busy end of year activity. They have now issued W-2s to employees and 1098-Ts for students. And of course, getting students payments all taken care of. I want to recognize our marketing and communications department for their work, as well as the foundation for the marathon. Hopefully all of you got the marathon. Thought it was a great next edition of that, and compliments to everybody who had work in that. Hopefully under your discussion as board, you'll talk about the ACCT Legislative Conference that is coming up February 8th through the 10th. It is remote this year, so if you would choose to participate, we can get you all registered. And I think Jolynn has sent you the agenda that you could look through. That conference is a conference that in the past, some of us have traveled to Washington, D.C. to meet with our Congress folks to talk about issues of higher ed, and particularly for community colleges. But anyway, because it's remote, all of you could participate if you would so choose. Spring enrollment. We are tracking pretty much on with par with where our fall enrollment was. And at this point in time, we are down 11.7% in credit hours over last fall and 10.9% down in head count. I know our navigators were extremely busy and worked really hard to get students enrolled for the spring term. We will have more information to report on persistence rates in the future, but we do recognize that COVID has had a major impact on students attending State Fair Community College, and some were not able to persist and others chose not to enroll for spring. So we're working on those enrollment issues. Wanted to share with you a COVID update, which you can always find on our website, but the dashboard currently shows that we have no employees isolated. We do have 3 in quarantine. We do have 10 students isolated and 9 in quarantine. And you may have seen in the newspaper today, we did have a number of our women's basketball team contract COVID, and others that were around those students have had to be quarantined. And so they did cancel a non-region game. We're hoping that they will be out of isolation and out of quarantine for their region game that will be coming up in February. The COVID response team has a vaccine committee, and it's headed by Dr. Rhonda Hutton-Gann, that has been looking at making vaccine information available to our employees. And that information you can find in this week at SFCC. We do have individuals who are scheduled to get their vaccine this week, and I feel like I hit the lottery. I'm one of them. So, because my husband's over 65 maybe, but anyway, I would encourage all of you to fill out those forms. We say submit them to the health department. It just so happens that they have a large disbursement that occurred today, tomorrow, and Saturday, and they are expected to get additional allocations coming up. Last week in my Friday brown bag, I had an update on the Olin Howard Workforce Innovation Center. Executive Director of our foundation, Mary Troiner, has been taking her presentation on the road. And while I couldn't join her, she did do a presentation to the Lions Club, the Business Connection Chamber Breakfast, and Rotary, and talked about the capital campaign, that facility, and had a good response from all of those. I got feedback from individuals who saw Mary's presentation, and I just want to recognize her for doing a really nice job. But if any of you have connections to organizations that you would like to invite Mary and myself to attend and share information, we would love to do that. We also received official word from the Sunderland Foundation of the $500,000 grant that we were given, which was a good news. And then Justin O'Neill in the brown bag talked about the site work that has been done. So if you've been to campus, you probably saw that there was topsoil removed. All of that has been retained on campus for future needs. And then they did a lot of infill, getting the site ready for the concrete bed that's going to be put in place there. So that work has been done. And then you probably have also seen that 16th Street is also getting sidewalks, which is actually going to be a nice thing in front of the campus. So along 16th Street, there's some torn up area, but the crosswalk at 16th and Clarendon will be better marked with ways for students to cross there. And then finally, I would just like to recognize Central Methodist University. They do a tremendous amount for us, but they have made available free virtual wellness sessions. I think the first one has already occurred, but there are 5 more series coming up here in February, and we truly appreciate that partnership with them and for them doing that for our staff. And I would entertain any questions if you have any.
Okay, thank you. I was certainly glad to hear the things that the governor mentioned. It looked like he had called and asked specifically the things that we were most interested in, education and A+ and the Bright Flight and workforce and the fast track student program. That was all good, not only for State Fair Community College, but for all of education. So that was good. Thank you so much for your report. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Keith, we're back to you.
Hey. First up is the quarterly investment report that you have in your packet. as of the end of December 2020. End of December 3rd, 2020, we had one time deposit in a CD for $245,000. That has actually matured in January. So, and then at that point, it will be everything in a demand deposit at Central Bank, where we have then at the end of the month, we had approximately $5 million in cash and investments that were invested. The funds at Central Bank of Sedalia earned 2.25% through the end of this fiscal year. It gives us flexibility there. And this spring, what we'll probably do or towards summer, look at where to get some other time deposits as that interest rate changes and we understand our cash needs for the coming year. So overall, we are earning on our $5 million about 2.28%. This is probably typically December is our lowest cash point during the year, and we'll build up into July and then, work it down through the year. That's kind of the cycle of how we go. And because we do appreciate our counties and Pettis in particular, we received their tax check this week. So that was nice. And the others are coming in as well. So that's the investment report. Quickly go over the financial report. And then as part of the financial report, I want to talk to you about the new Corona Response and Release Supplemental Appropriations Act, which is fondly known by the government as the CRRSAA. Because I guess the guy who created the word CARES must have got lost in the administration shuffle, so he didn't get a better acronym. But I want to go over that. But first of all, going to the table F1, looking at the report at the end of December, you'll see, as you would expect, the first line tuition and fees at 13.6 million is right at 1.2 million than the year before. So again, if you want to understand the impact of not only our demographics in this area, but the coronavirus, that's probably the most tangible reminder of that. So overall, our general fund revenues were 17.7 through December compared to 18.7 last year. Again, made up primarily in tuition and fees. We're doing a very good job of controlling our expenses as well, because we knew this would happen. So overall, our bottom line, net at this time of the year is only slightly less than it's been the past couple of years. So it's kind of, we watch that and monitor that, and we continue to watch our expenses very closely. And we've got the group in the student services working very, very hard to keep enrollment up and keep it where we are. So that's the question that we can look at it, but that's where that is. We did get our state appropriations restored for the balance of the year, which is good. And also the governor, we mentioned this earlier, has recommended that our core funding be put back full to what it was in 2020 for the coming FY22. So that's good that he has made that recommendation. So we'll be hopefully back whole. I want to talk about the CRRSAA that was released. That bill was signed December 27th. We received our notifications in early to mid-January, and Dr. Anderson got her agreements in place. So I'll let you know what we're getting. What we will do is what I'm about to tell you now, we'll formally put on the agenda for February for you to approve us to accept and then to expend the additional funds that we're getting. So for student funds in the CARES Act, we received 1.23 million to provide to students for emergency financial aid grants. We were getting that same amount in this new CRSAA, another 1.2 million, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 7 to be exact, will be given to us that must be given to students for financial aid grants, based upon not only upon need, but other circumstances, and student services working on what the criteria would be for that. So that's that. And then, but in addition to that, institutionally, we were awarded $3,943,927. In the original CARES Act, we got the same 1.2 million. So that's a substantial increase from what we got originally in the act. We had, I guess, we had worked our budget to make sure that the 1.2 would last us. So this 3.9 gives us the ability to maybe think outside the box a little bit about what we've learned about COVID, about what we can do should something like this ever happen again, and invest funds in the ability to instruct in our, in a manner that's better. Maybe get, look at new ways of doing simulations or online. Look at our facilities, what more we can do. But it gives us the opportunity to look around and see how we best spend that as it relates to COVID. Everything we do has to tie back to the COVID, but how it allows us to deliver instruction and deliver our what we do in a safer manner going forward and in a more effective manner. So this will be on the agenda for you to formally approve on more details at that point with everything, and it's as we get more guidance. But
And Keith, can I just add, one of the reasons we're getting more money this time is they revised the formula to recognize student headcount. And as you know, because many of our students are part-time, this was a benefit to community colleges because overall we tend to have a larger headcount, not just full-time students. And then it also recognized students that qualify for Pell Grants and that financial need. Some of that was in the previous formula, but they expanded it some. So it did provide additional monies to us. One of the things that Keith has, and we have talked with leadership about, is that, are there systems at the institution that are getting toward end of life that we could think about replacing that would add, better quality of for our students, classrooms, and others, so that we make sure that we're utilizing these funds to the best of our ability to not only mitigate COVID, but to help our institution as we go forward.
Okay. Thank you, Keith, and thank you, Dr. Anderson. In these trying times, it's always encouraging to hear that we're getting more money than we kind of anticipated, and I'm glad the state is going to help with some of that portion. Okay, next you'll see on your agenda board discussion, and I would like to publicly recognize and inform our board, and I'm not sure, we'd like to welcome anyone that is listening via Zoom, but most all of you know and remember Jim and Barbara Cooney were dear friends of the college and have been generous in many ways, not only in dollars, but also in support and programming in many areas. And as you know, Jim recently passed away a few months ago, and at that time, he requested that a substantial gift, to be given to the college, and the board of directors should know that those dollars that were given directly to the college, he left that up to the discretion of the board of trustees to use that money wherever it may be needed. So that will be something that will need to be discussed. And then he also left a matching amount to the Dom Museum, and that money went directly to the Dom Museum for their programming, and it too was left at their discretion. And as you may or may not know, Jim and Barbara were very generous, and we want, if their daughters Carol and Colleen are listening via Zoom, we want to thank them, and on behalf of their parents, thank you so very much for remembering State Fair Community College at this particular time. So I wanted the board to be aware of that, and then we will we will discuss that further, the needs and what direction we might be able to use some of those dollars. Does anyone else have anything that they would like to bring up or discuss? Okay, thank you. Okay,
Randy, just a reminder, if you
Okay.
want to be registered for the ACCT conference, legislative conference, please let Jolynn know.
okay. Yeah, we will do that. Okay, now we will need to have a request, a motion and a second to go into closed session for hiring, firing, discipline, or promotion of personnel pursuant to the 610.0213. So do I hear a motion for that?
So
Motion,
move.
Patty,
Patty. I'll second.
Nick? Okay,
Roll call, Randy Eaton,
yes.
Nicholas Strata,
Yes.
Justin Hubbs,
Yes.
Jim Page,
Yes.
Richard Parker,
Yes.
Patty Wood.
Yes.
Okay, so we will close out of this meeting. Is that correct, Jolynn? And
Need a
then
motion to adjourn.
out, okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we do?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry. Do I have a motion?
I motion we adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay,
Roll call, Randy Eaton,
yes.
Justin Hubbs,
Yes.
Nicholas Strata,
Yes.
Jim Page,
Yes.
Richard Parker,
Yes.
Patty Wood.
Yes.
Okay, we will close out of this Zoom session and then log back in. And does everyone have the number?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, okay, we will log out and come right back in.